Hey guys, what's going on? Today we're going to look at the Fire Mage for patch 5.4. This guide will be focused on PVE play only. Alright, let's start out with your talents. Fire Mage, you're going to want Presence of Mind. This is an important one. Your tier 2, you can use Ice Barrier or Temporal Shield. Each one has their benefits. Use whichever your preference is depending on the fight. Third tier, Ring of Frost is the way I usually go. These don't have as much use in raids. Greater Invis for this fourth tier here is good. You can soak certain raid mechanics. Cauterize is good. You know, if you're taking a lot of damage, if you think you're going to die, getting one shot by mechanics, it can save you a lot of times. Cold Snap is good for fights that you may use multiple ice blocks. More than your 5-minute cooldown will allow. As far as your bombs go, Living Bomb is going to be the one to use almost all the time. Nether Tempest is good if you can reliably put it on 3 to 6 targets. Get those Tempests bouncing around with each other. Otherwise, it's going to be Living Bomb all the way. And finally, Invocation. It's going to be the one you're going to use all the time. All the time. As far as your glyphs go, Glyph Combustion is good for every single fight in Siege of Orgrimmar. Infernal Blast, you absolutely have to have this. Your third glyph here you can interchange a little bit. I like the glyph of Rapid Displacement. You can blink twice before it goes on cooldown. It's always nice. You could interchange this with the glyph of Blink if you like the increased distance on your blink, or maybe Arcane Explosion if you want a little bit of AoE for trash or boss, you know, whatever it be. So, alright, quickly talking about our stat priority. As always, as a caster, you want your 15% hit, followed by that, crit is your number one secondary stat by a long margin. Haste follows crit, and then mastery on the bottom. Okay. As far as your gemming goes, most red sockets you're going to want to use Crafty, which is expertise and crit. Any yellow sockets you want Smooth, the 320 crit gems. Blue sockets you're going to want to use Piercing, which is crit and hit. Alright guys, the rotation. DBM pull timers are very important for a Fire Mage, okay? You're going to listen for this pull timer being started. 10, 9, 8. Here at about 7, we're going to want to evocate and get the invocation buff. 6, 5, about in between 5 and 4, you're mirror imaging and potting. 3, 2, pyroblasting. 1, boom, pull, Living Bomb immediately. Got the heating up, Inferno Strike every time. Once you have both Pyroblast and heating up. Cooldowns, Presence of Mind, Alter Time, Pyro, 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 until you have no more. Come on, Alter Time, Pyro, 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 till you have no more. Combust. Okay, that's basically going to be your opening rotation. Following that, keeping Living Bomb up. Not spinning your Pyroblast until you have both of your procs up. I know it's hard to do sometimes, but you really just want to hold on to them. There they go, both up. Recast your Living Bomb. Go. Just Fireball, Fireball, Fireball. So you have them both up. Then spin your Pyro. Immediately following your Fireball. Both up, boom. Both up, boom. Alright guys, before we wrap up this guide, I'd like to quickly talk about a couple add-ons that I like for mages in general, let alone fire mages. Weak Auras is my favorite, absolute favorite for the class, or just about any class really. If you're not using Weak Auras or something similar, like maybe Tell Me When or something like that, I really recommend checking it out and putting the time in to make this kind of stuff, because I really feel like I can help you out. As you can see, here's my Mage auras that I'm currently using. So tracking your invocation buff, your bombs, your barriers, or you know, different defensive cooldowns, meta gem proc, rune of power. You know, if for any of you arcane mages out there, tell you exactly if you're in it or you're not in it. You know, also using it to track trinket procs, racials, your duration on your ultra time. I really recommend that. The other one that I use is one to help with your combustion. I personally use Combustion Helper. Okay, and on here you can customize this one here in the middle. You can change it to do, you know, just about anything you like with your combustion. So here the top bar, you know, you can see it's tracking your living bomb, your ignite timer, and your pyroblast timer. And you can set up a threshold, which is my favorite part of it. So, you know, you see it here. Let this ignite fall off. There we go. So it's black, right? This tells me, you know, when I'm working up towards a combust, you know, combust is coming off cooldown, it'll turn green when I can combust, you know. And you can change this threshold, you know, you play around with it with your gear, you know, maybe up a little bit when you get gear, wherever, you know, you're sitting at with your mage. And this is just a great visualization for when you can hit that combust. You know, if this is not green, you're not combusting, right? So I think it's really good, especially, you know, if you're learning a fight, in the middle of a fight, trying to pay attention to mechanics. It's a great way to visually just tell when you can actually combust. So those are the two add-ons that I really recommend. You know, there's hundreds of add-ons out there, but these are just my two favorite for the mage. Alright guys, that wraps it up for my very quick Fire Mage guide for 5.4. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please put them down in the comments, and I'll be glad, you know, we can discuss. So if you want any of these weak aura strings or help with your add-ons, you know, I'm not any kind of add-on king, but I'll be happy to help you out, especially giving you a weak aura string. You know, so add my Battletag if you like for those purposes. It'll be down in the description. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you.